what's going on, everybody? This is Pastor Shay, aka Chaplain G, coming back at y'all with another word of encouragement for today. So check this out. I've been having, not that I've been having, I've been witnessing a lot of conversations revolving around morality. It's why I talk about it so much, man. I see stuff on the news. I read stuff in the Bible. I take military courses, and really what everybody seems to be talking about, even though they might not understand that they're talking about it, what everybody seems to be talking about is having a moral or ethical people. That's what we all strive towards. So, for example, right, I took that Purple Resolve course that I was telling y'all about. In that Purple Resolve course, they were talking about the need in command situations to have practical wisdom. And so they would define practical wisdom as it's how we come to understand the right way to do the right thing in a particular circumstance with a particular person at a particular time. So essentially, it's learning how to do the right thing at the right time, even though a thing might be we might have legal justifications of doing something. We might have policy backing us. We still have to ask ourselves the question, is this the right thing? And there's a difference between command structure and having this practical wisdom of asking yourself, is it right? And the two, what they're finding is the two shouldn't be divorced. They should actually be coinciding with one another. And our decision making, our policy making, and everything else should actually align with practical wisdom. And I would agree with that, man. Like I'm seeing a lot of conversations in culture. I'm seeing a lot of conversations happen in the military where, yes, things are legal, and you can fill in the blank how you want to. Yes, things are legal, but are they right? Is it the right thing to do? Sometimes when the answer isn't so clear, it should give us pause to say, okay, but what is the right thing to do? To make sure that the policies we're having are actually helping to make us better people. So the policies should, for all intents and purposes, policies should be there to help make us better people. So there was this story with Jesus, right? Jesus was hanging out one day, and he's chilling out in the square, and some of the church folk bring in this adulterous woman. So in the Old Testament, it used to be like under the old synagogue law, if you got caught in the act of adultery, the penalty was stoning. They dragged this woman before Jesus, and he looks at her. He looks at the people that have drugged this woman in front of him. And so by law, they are absolutely right. This woman deserves to be stoned. And they challenged Jesus. They said, what are you going to do with her? Are you going to follow the law? And they were trying to trap him up on some stuff. It was kind of their MO at the time, right? Jesus, though, understanding that it's not just the letter of the law that we have to follow. We also have to follow practical wisdom. And so what he does, he bends down, he writes some stuff in the dirt, and he looks up, he grabs a rock, and he looks up at these teachers and these religious leaders, and he's like, okay, bet. Let everybody who's without sin cast the first stone. And yo, starting with the older dudes, because I'm sure the older dudes were like, oh man, I got some skeletons. But everybody, all these people that had accused this woman, they just left. And Jesus looks at the woman. He was like, where's your accusers? She was like, they're gone. He was like, I know. Go and sin no more, right? And so Jesus displaying this practical wisdom, yes, the law was there, but would it have been the best thing for this woman? Would it be the best thing for culture? Would it be the best thing for Jesus, who is coming to seek and save the lost, to have followed the letter of the law and not given this woman grace? Instead, he decided to use practical wisdom. He defeated his opponents, and he actually gave wise counsel to this woman who, it's not saying Jesus didn't care about the law, because he told her to go and sin no more. So he says, go and follow the law, but learn from your mistakes. And that's what practical wisdom does. It actually gives us opportunity to do the right thing at the right time for a particular person in a particular circumstance. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23 says, all things are lawful, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful, but not all things build up. So yeah, you could even some things that become lawful doesn't necessarily mean they help. Not everything that is lawful is helpful. Not everything that is lawful is necessarily the right decision. We have to make sure those two things line up. For those of you who are not from a Christian background, check out what Aristotle had to say, right? He talks about practical wisdom. He talks about the difference between moral will and moral skill. He says moral will is the right thing, the right time, the right person for the right reasons. So it's not enough, according to Aristotle, it's not enough for a person to just have moral will. They actually have to have a mechanism to act out that moral will. And that's where we get our moral skill. So it's courageous action and it's resilience. This is what we need. Like I said, I'm watching things go down in our country. People are talking about First Amendment rights. They're talking about different constitutional rights, even in our own daily life. Like we got rules that we lay down for our kids. We got interactions that we have with our subordinates, or maybe even the people that are above us in rank. We have our spouses. Like we have all these interactions. Are we doing the right thing at the right time in the right circumstance? That is what we need, because things might be lawful, but they might not necessarily be right. And we have to make sure that we're building that moral character and having that courageous action to put our moral will into practice. It's how we become better people. It's how we come back as a community, not just a community of faith, but just a community of airmen, a community of Nevadans, community of Americans, and in a large part, a community of just being human. We have to have our morality about us, and when we're not morally courageous, things start to fall apart, and people get hurt in the process. So it's my thought of the day. Hopefully, it's an encouragement. It's an encouragement for me to actually exercise that moral courage and to get better at being strong about morality. And I hope it does the same for you. I love y'all. I don't say any of this to hurt anyone. If you disagree, please let me know. But please make sure to like, share with coworkers and family members and all that jazz. Comment, drop some comments. Please keep them respectful. Subscribe. That helps. It really does help, so we can keep pushing the message out. But I love y'all, man. And I hope y'all have a good weekend. And until next time, grace and peace.